Hello and what is up? Welcome back to another video. I know it has been a while since I have been posting on YouTube. During this week I have been learning a lot and I have also thought of new content for you guys. So I have also updated the website which I'll be showing you right now. I have read the comments and some of you told to include the code. That is why I embedded the code in my website. So let me show you my website. So you can go to DecaCode73.com. And the cool thing about this is that this web page is done using MongoDB, Express, Node.js and React.js. So let me go to login as I already have an account and all the courses are free as of now. So let me log in and let's go to courses page where you can buy courses, which is free course. You can add to cart and buy it from the cart. Like this. Now you can go to your profile page. Because I've already bought my course, I can go to my course and over here under the resources tab you will be getting click here to get the code for the course. If you click on that, you will be redirected to my GitHub page where you can download the code for free. Now these are the videos, you can click on them, the same YouTube videos. So we can also go back and let me log out. So today, what are we going to do? This is the original website and today we are going to do this whole navbar. Only the navbar in this video? So I have given it a thought and I realized that the navbar is quite complex. So from this video onwards, it is going to get real complex. So make sure that you watched my previous course and completed that course successfully. You should understand every line of code from the last course because it gets complex from now, trust me. We are going to use advanced Firebase from right over the navbar. It is not that simple because in this video we are going to include the search functionality where we can search the users. You can go back and in this video we are going to set up our Redux and we are going to set up the notifications. If anybody comments to your post, then you'll get a notification, but if you comment to your post, you will not get a notification. So we are also going to do this drop down. And we will not be doing the profile page, we'll be doing this in a later video, but in this video whenever we click on this, we'll be going to the home page. So that is what we are going to do in this video. And the other thing is that the CSS is quite long for the navbar. So I am going to give a file in the description which is going to redirect you to Google Drive maybe. So you can download the CSS file from there. Because the CSS I have been repeating every CSS rule thoroughly in the last few videos. So I have explained every CSS rule in the file you'll be downloading today. So if you go to the description and download the file, and if you see the CSS page, then you will realize that every CSS rule in that file had been taught in other previous videos. So I'll be skipping the CSS because it is quite easy as well, so that we can only focus on the front end and the back end part. The front end only the React.js part, not the CSS part. So we are going to focus on that pretty much this video. So let's jump right in then. So first go to Visual Studio Code and let's go to app.js first because we need to create a new component and we need to import the component and also render the component using a path. So first we need to create a component. So let's create a new file known as homeheader.js. And by the way, I forgot to tell you that my keyboard will be making some noises, so I'll try to type in slowly and I cannot control the rest. So let's start homeheader.js and let's create another file for the CSS, homeheader.css. Now type in rfce in homeheader.js. Perfect. Now go to app.js and let's import homeheader.js or home header from home header. That is perfect. And now you need to create another route. Let me delete this, I have already created that. Type in route, path is equal to slash, and inside this there's a component, home header, and that is it. Now if we go to the real website where you can see my name over here, the name is Rutvik Ratu. So how am I getting my name over there? So from one component to another component we need to send data. So which data? This data is my credentials. So how do I get my credentials from Firebase? So that is what we are going to do with the use of use effect. So basically, first you need to create a variable, state variable, set user to use state, and next a use effect. I've explained all of these in the last course and even in the last video, I guess. So let's create a use effect. Now inside this use effect, what you need to type is some basic code for fetching the details. So first, auth on auth state changed. So it is basically saying that on the state changed, or if somebody login, then please return me an object which contains all the user credentials. So this object over here, auth user, is going to contain all the credentials. And over here, if auth user is present. So without containing the credentials, how can I display it or how can I store it? So I'm just checking whether the credentials are present or not. And then I want to set the credentials to the credentials given to me by Firebase. If it is not given, then I'm going to set the credentials variable to false. So now, as we got the credentials, let's pass it to the home header by the use of props. So using props, you can send data from a component to another component. So at present we are in a component, it's not a component, but we are in app.js. It is sending data to another component which is home header. So let's send the data like this. And also an other prop which is selected. So what is the selected? Let me show you that. If we go to the original website, you can see that home header is selected. The home icon basically is selected. How am I able to do that? So I'm going to send a prop such that whenever I'm on the slash route, make it selected. If I'm not on the slash route, don't make it selected. That's the basic syntax. And after this, you're going to receive the props, user and selected. So you're going to receive two props. So we are done with app.js, and there is a minor update which is in app.css. We are going to make the page dark. So at present, if we go to the real website, let me log in real quick. So I'm logged in. As you can see, I'm on the slash route and this is a white page, but if you go to the real website, this is a darker or a black page. So how did I do that? Basic CSS. Go to app.css and type in background color is 1819A. I guess that's not the right hex code. This is the right hex code. Now overflow X is hidden. Good. Now if we go to the page, as you can see, this is whole dark or black version of the page. So this is good. This looks similar. Now we can design the home header. So first we need to assign a class name. So for the class name, let's home header. So this is the class name. And let's go to homeheader.css, and inside homeheader.css, let's paste in the code. So I'll be giving that file, just paste in the code. So this is the code. As you can see, this is very long. This is very long. So I'm going to give you the file, but these are all similar to what I have taught. So display flex direction column, this is all being taught in the last course, and I've also taught many CSS rules in the last video as well. So you will not feel any difficulty while understanding the CSS code. So if you feel any difficulty, please do post it in the comments section below so that I can help you out. So close this for now and let's import the home header.css. So this is going to import the CSS file, and after that is complete, now we can move on with the home header.js. So first of all, we need to have a div. Home header, logo and search. This is going to contain this icon and this search bar. So this is going to contain this block. So inside this div we are going to have a link, and this link is for navigating us to the home page. So let us bring in the link from React.DOM. I guess you remember that. So now let's go to check the website. This is good. The icon is good, and instantly we are able to get this navbar and the border bottom. How are we getting it instantly? Because I gave you the CSS file, this is immediately taking effect. So you can understand the CSS and make sure that you understand the CSS. That will be beneficial for you. So this will take me to the slash route. I'm already on the slash route, that is why it is not taking me anywhere. And after the logo is done, next we need another div. Class name is equal to home header search back. So what is the search back? Now if we go to the real website and click on the search icon, we are getting a back icon and an input field. So we need to hard code this and make it display none. So what I am basically saying is that by default there is no back icon and an input. So we need to make the input and the back icon present, but in the CSS we have to modify such that it is display none and the search icon is display block. And whenever I click, or basically in JS terms, on click event is triggered, then I need to hide the home icon and the search icon, and I need to make the back icon and the input field display block. So that is the basic JS for this functionality. So this is the search back, and for this we need an icon, and that is search back icon. Please type in what I am typing, because in the CSS I have given these names only, and if you type anything wrong you will not get the correct CSS for that. So this is the back icon. Now we need to trigger an on-click event, collapse navbar. So what is collapse navbar? So this is basically saying that whenever I click on back, so let me go to the real website. Whenever I click on this back icon, it is collapsing the navbar, or it's not navbar, it is collapsing the input field. So I should have given this a better name. Let's move on, no problem. So if I click on the back icon, then I should collapse the input. So for that I'm using this on click. And after this is done, let's make another div. Expand navbar. So basically this is the search icon, which is this. Whenever we click this, we are expanding the input field. Sorry about the naming. We are expanding the input field. Now let us go back. There's a typo over here. And after this there is an I tag with the search icon. Nice. So after this we need an input. Type is equal to text. Class name is equal to search box, and there's a placeholder which is search Facebook, and on change we are going to update the search results. So you might be saying, wait a minute, what are you typing? I'll explain this. So basically what I am doing is, whenever I start typing in something, I need to render a function. Let me take off that. This might be confusing, that is why I'll add it later. For now this is an input. We need to code that whenever I click this, these two must be display block, and whenever I click this, these two, only this must be display block. If you don't understand it, I'll explain it one more time. So basically whenever I click the search icon, these two icons must be display block, and whenever I click on this icon must be display block, and the previous two elements must be display none. So that is the basic JS. And after this input is done, we need another div for the drop down. drop down content 3. So what is this drop down? Whenever I am searching for something, searching for the user, I'm getting my name. So this is the drop down. So for that, we are doing this drop down content 3. And let's make a UL with an ID of list. And inside this, there is some JSX, which will not be bothering about that right now. So let us keep it like that for now. So let us create these functions real quick. So for the functions, first function is collapse navbar. So for collapse navbar, this is the JS code. So what is this huge amount of code? Document.getElements by class name. Whenever I'm collapsing this input, make this Facebook icon visible, make the search icon visible, and make these two elements none, display none. The home header logo is block, which means it is getting visible, and the search back icon or the back icon is display none, and the search box or the input is display none, and the home header search is block, which is the search icon, and the drop down content which we are searching for users is also none, and then the search box dot value is equal to quotations, which is empty. So what is the search box dot value? This is just the input value. So what is the search box? This is the input, right? So input dot value gives me the current value in that input field. So I'm assigning that value to quotations, which means empty. So we did collapse navbar. Now we need to do expand navbar. Now for expand navbar, it is pretty simple, just like the above one. But for this, we are going to hide the logo and make the back icon visible and make the search icon none, which means I'll hide the search icon and I will make the input visible. So this is expand navbar and collapse navbar. Now let's check our website. This is very good. Now we just implemented some basic JS functionality which looks really stunning. So are we getting anything? Are we getting any drop down at present? No, we are going to code that. And let us code right now because it is going to get complex later. We cannot do everything later. So we'll be doing that now. And before that, what we need to do is if user is equal to false, push him to the login page. So basically what I'm saying is that whenever the user is false, then push him to the login page, or in literal terms, whenever the user has not logged in, send him to the login page. Now we need to use some state variables. So let's import useState and make some variables. So the first variable is search term and set search term is equal to useState. So at present or default, the search term is blank. And what if we filter the users? So basically what I'm saying is that after we filter the users, we should store the user somewhere, right? The filtered user should be in a variable. So for that, we are creating another variable, filtered users, and we are going to use a state variable for this as well. And the default value is an array. And after this, we have another variable which is users, and set users is equal to useState, and by default it is an array. So you'll understand why are we creating these two later, but for now let's continue. So now we need to use a use effect. Let's import use effect and let's use it over here. Use effect. So over here we are going to db.collection. Did we import db? Actually no. We need to import db from Firebase. I guess you saw the syntax. We are going to import db and auth from Firebase, and db.collection is just getting the collection from Firebase. Which collection? The users collection. Inside the users collection dot on snapshot So do you know the meaning of snapshot? Anyway, I explained it in the last course. So basically, snapshot, it is taking all the data from the collection. Basically, it is taking all the data from the collection and it is giving us in the format of a variable called as snapshot over here. Now we need to set the users to snapshot docs map doc.data. What is this? So it is saying that give me all the data of the snapshot. So it is giving you all the data and storing it in a variable called as set users. So that is the basic meaning. If you want to know more, please go to the last course where I'm explaining everything in great detail. This is the second part or the version 2 of the course. So I'm going to go a bit advanced. So after I'm setting the users, if the users is not equal to undefined. So if there are some users present, then const final users is equal to users dot filter user. I will explain you in a minute, don't worry. This is complex because this is the basic search functionality and this is the one line of code which is going to trouble us a lot. And this is where we are going to filter the data. This is where we are going to filter all the users from our data collection users. I'll also comment some notes such that you'll understand whenever you download the code from my website. Search term dot to lowercase. Nice. So what am I doing over here? So final users, let me write some comments. So this statement over here gets all the users from the collection irrespective of the search term. So whatever you type in the search term, this is going to get all the users. So we don't want that, right? We only want the users who are a part of the search term. So for that, this is the logic. The final users, I am filtering the users. So what is this filter? So users.filter will give me each user. So from here, I am just returning. If this is some logic, you don't need to understand this because this is quite complex. And the dot to lowercase over here is basically changing my search term to dot lowercase, or let me go ahead and type my name in uppercase and it is going to give me the search term. This is in lowercase, right? And this is in uppercase. How is it giving me? That's why I'm going to convert everything into lowercase and then compare it. If I compare uppercase with lowercase, it is not going to work at all. So that is why I'm going to make the search term lowercase and also this name over here lowercase and then compare both the strings. Let me go back. And this is the logic for filtering the data. You can copy it. So dot index of this is going to give me the filtered users and the final users contain all the users to be displayed. And after we are getting all of that, we are going to store it in our variable. So now do you understand why are we having two variables? If you don't, I'll tell you right now. So the users over here is going to store all the users irrespective of the search term, and this filtered users is going to store with respect to the search term. So that is the basic meaning. And when do we have to do all this code? Whenever the user types in. So that is why we have a parameter which is search term. This basically says that whenever the search term changes, or so for R it is getting activated, the code is getting activated. For U, for T, whenever the search term changes, the whole code is getting rerun. So my name contains UTWIK 6 characters, so it is going to run the code 6 times, and in all the 6 turns it is going to check whether my name is present in the database or not. So it just checked 6 times. So let us go back now and write a function to update the search results. So So we have something known as a search term here, and this is a variable. If you remember, this is a variable. Now, where are we assigning this variable to our search term which we are typing in the input? So by the use of this function right over here, we are going to update the variable to the input field. So to update that, we are just going to set the search term to e.target.value, which will assign my name to the search term. And why did I create a function? First of all, I can do all this, so I can just do this line of code and write it inline over there, but I create a separate function for a separate purpose. We don't want to show something blank over here by default. So something blank in the sense, a blank drop down, we don't want to show that. We want to show once something is entered. So that is why I created a function. So for that, I'm going to type in document.getElements by class name dropdown content dot display is equal to block. So this is going to reveal the dropdown content. So let's copy this and go to the input field, and now we are going to embed the on change. Let's remove this. So I'm unwrapping it piece by piece such that you'll understand. If I kept this earlier, you would not understand why did I keep a separate function or why did I keep this at all. As I kept it now, you would understand it. Now let's display the information over here, and to display that information we need some JSX. Users not equal to undefined. So if there are users present, only then do some of this code. Filter users dot map. So I'm mapping through each and every user. So I'm getting each and every user inside user 1, and I'm just displaying an li tag, and inside this li tag there's a tag with an on click event, collapse navbar, href is equal to, for now it is going to be slash. Let me keep it slash. We are going to change that later. Be aware of that. So what is this collapse? So whenever I click on the user, for example, if I click on this user like this. So if I click on this user, it is taking me to another page. But when I was working out or testing my code, I noticed that whenever I clicked, so it is taking me to my profile page. That is good. But the bug was that there is still a drop-down content present even after I'm going to another page. And that bug was caused by not updating or not closing the drop-down on clicked. So that's why whenever I click that, I'm collapsing the navbar. That resolves the bug. And after that, there's an avatar with a class name of search avatar. And what is the src? Can you guess? It is user1.photo URL. This is the avatar. And next we have a history tag, search h3. There is some styling for this class name, that is why I get that name. And can you guess what is the name we are going to keep over here? It is user1.displayName. Nice. Now let's see what we have done. Unexpected use of history. Okay, accept it. Now let's use history. First we need to import something known as use history. You would understand this if you had watched my last course. Const history is equal to use history. Nice. And then we need to import the avatar. Avatar from any guesses? Material UI core. So now it will resolve our issue. Let us reload. It is getting compiled. Sometimes it takes a minute or so. Great! We got our code compiled, and now let's check out. Nice! We have done the search functionality. Isn't that cool? Now if we type something else, some rubbish, then my username is getting vanished. If I go back and I can type anything else, I can get anything. So we have just completed the search functionality. Congratulations! Wasn't that fun? Yeah, that was fun for me. Let me wrap that in a nutshell. So Basically, I'm collapsing the navbar whenever I click the back icon, and I am expanding the navbar whenever I am clicking on the search icon. And whenever I start typing something, that is the meaning of this parameter, whenever I start typing something, then this code must be implemented. So what is this code? First, I'm getting all the users, I'm storing it in a variable, I'm filtering all the users, and I'm getting the final users and setting it to filtered users. And I'm going to display all the filtered users using this. Now if we go back and type something and click on this, it will take us to the home page and make the drop down content or the drop down disappear. So we have done this part successfully. Now next we need to do this. So first is the div with the class name as always, home, header, pages, nice, and div.home. Div class name is equal to home, and inside this we need some JSX. Do you remember the prop selected? If we have a prop selected, then render this piece of code. So what is this piece of code? This is just an icon. This is the home icon. So if there is not selected, there is nothing known as selected, then render this code. So both of these are used to render blue icon, or if there is no selected, then a gray icon. Let's check the icon. Yes, we got an icon. That is great. And after this is done, we will be needing some icons, which I'll be copy and pasting that because it is the same as above. So the friends class name is present and the SVGs are present. SVGs are just icons. Let me indent that well. Make sure that your indentation is perfect. Nice. Now let's check our website. We got 4 icons. And for the first icon we got a blue fill, and for the others we got a background hover functionality. Isn't this good? We just completed this bar. If you didn't understand anything, just go to the CSS file and make sure that you understand every line of code. So not every line of code because we didn't write every line of the React.js code. So till now what we have done, or till here, check those class names. So for example, this is the class name, this has a class name of pages icon. Go ahead and check what is the styling for this pages icon. Make sure that you understand the CSS. Let me change all the class names to class name. Good. So that neat little trick was, go ahead and click somewhere and just click Ctrl D and it will select all and everything which has class name. Then you can modify. Nice. Now we are done with the middle section. Next, the top section, the right hand section, which is the last section and the final section of this video. So we are going to set up Redux as I promised. So we'll set up that right now. So first, make a file known as stateprovider.js. So inside stateprovider.js, type in the following code. So this is the basic code for Redux. So if you want to learn Redux, I'll be posting other videos where I'm going to briefly explain what are those. And next we need to create another file known as, let me think, I guess it is store.js. Sorry, I guess it is reducer.js. Yes, that is good. So for reducer.js, this is the code. So first of all, this is the initial state, or initially we'll be having no notifications. That is why this is an empty array. And inside the reducer there is a switch, and for each case, for example this is one case, whenever I am dispatching a condition known as add to notifications, then I am going to add the notifications to the notifications array from the initial state. And that is the only case as of now because we are using the Redux only for notifications to add the live functionality. So after this reducer is done, now we need to go to index.js because we are going to make some changes in index.js. So the first change is that you need to import the state provider and the reducer and the initial state as well. And now what you need to do is, you need to create a state provider. And what is the initial state? Any guesses? It is the initial state itself. we are importing it from here. Do you remember? And what is a reducer? Guess this again. It is reducer itself. Nice. And inside the state provider, we are going to keep this app. Do you ask me why? And for this, if you want to understand this, you need to understand that the state provider over here is like a data layer. It is wrapping our whole project with some data. So I can access the data inside the state provider from any component in this whole from this whole project. So that is basically why I'm keeping the app inside the state provider. Now let's quit index.js, and inside home header.js we'll be having another div, but with the class name of home header other icons, and inside this there is round, which is a class name, and a profile. So what are these? So I'm having two class names for a div. Why I'm keeping it round? So as you can see, this is round and this is a profile tab. That's why I'm keeping it round plus profile. And inside this we'll be having a tag with a href of slash as of now. I'm going to changing it later. And inside this we are going to have an avatar with class name of profile avatar with an src user.photo URL. That is perfect. And inside this we are having a p tag where you're going to have the user.displayName. Perfect. And after this we are going to have the add icon, the notifications icon, and basically some icons. I'm going to paste those icons over here. So these are the icons. The first icon is add icon. And what is the second icon? This is the, let me check, the messenger icon. And after the messenger icon we have the notifications icon where we have to dig our head into. So basically this is the notifications icon. Let us check what we have done so far. The avatar is not defined. Sorry, a typo. Nice. And render notifications is not defined. Where did I keep that? So notifications open. Let me change the class name as of now because I'll be telling you what to keep over there later. Paste over here. So notifications icon, any more errors, render notifications is not defined. So why am I keeping an on click event for this? It is because I need to make a drop down for this. Do you remember? We have a drop down for the notifications. So for that we are triggering an event for the drop down. Oh, we got an error. Cannot read property photo URL of undefined. I did not expect this error, so let me see how I can solve it. So it's not finding the user. Let me try out a way. I guess this works. User and end. So this will make sure that the user is present. And let's paste this code. And we got red squiggles, which means there are errors. Okay, the error is JSX expressions must have one parent element. And now if we keep a div, this must solve the problem. But this arises a new problem. Let's check that out. My name over here is coming down because of this div. Now what we can do is import something known as a fragment, which does not affect anything at all. Fragments are used in these conditions. Now you can save it and go back. Nice, we got a nice end product. So the avatar is good, then the add icon is good, the messenger icon is good, the notifications icon is good. But for the notifications icon we need to do some cleanups and some functions. So let us continue with notifications icon now. So basically now we need to substitute the class name with this. Let me substitute all of these. Nice. And let's go a bit further. Notifications icon, and if the notifications dialog box is open, then what we need to do is toggle the class to blue. So if we toggle the class to blue, then the notifications icon will be blue. So whenever the notifications icon drop down is clicked, then we need to make the icon blue. So for that I'm using this syntax. Now notifications are open will not be defined. That will be the error at present. As you can see, this is the error, notifications open. So now we need to create a state variable. So in order to create a state variable, we need to have a default, and the default is that notifications open, and set the notifications open to use state false. So the notifications dialog box is not open at start. Now this will resolve our issue. Nice. So now what we need to do is create a function such that on click, and before that let's design the drop down content real quick. For this div we have drop down content 2, and inside this we have a h1 tag of notifications, and inside this we'll be coding this part later where we are going to display some information. So this is going to be done later, but now let's create a function for this. Render the notifications. Now let's create this, or the compiler will yell at us. And for that, render notifications function, let's create that, the ESX arrow function. And if the notifications is open, so if the drop down is open, then what we need to do is close the drop down. So in order to close the drop down, first of all we need to set the notifications open to false, and then we need to get rid of the drop down content. So remove the class name block. Else, if the notifications open is not open, or the drop down is not clicked yet, then set the notifications open to true. Set the profile, let's do this later, set profile down is later, and after that document.get elements, first of all this content, and you can also remove this maybe, yes. We'll be only getting 2 lines of code, which is this one where we are going to make the notifications drop down block. Let's check our website. Nice, we are getting our functionality. So we are getting the notifications over here because I designed it in such a way that we are going to have an extra icon over here. We can compensate the distance. So this is done. Render notifications is done basically. Now we need to have a use effect to render the notifications which are actually present. So this is going to get complex. db.collection posts. So this is going to get the posts. We haven't created the collection post, or we didn't do anything in quite a few videos, and the reason I'm starting with this is that I've explained this use effect in the last course, so that's why I told you to visit the last course and complete that course such that you'll understand everything in this video. So first of all, db.collection post, you'll on snapshot, you know what it is, you'll get all the posts, and snapshot.docs.map doc. So this is going to give me each and single doc. If the doc.data dot username is equal to user.displayname. I'm basically checking, let me comment it out so that you'll understand even if you download my code. So I am checking for only the currently logged in users post. So you want to get notifications whenever another user comments to your post, right? Only to your post, not all the notifications to all the posts. You want only the notifications which come to your post. That's why I'm checking whether this post is yours or not. And after this, we'll be having db.collection posts. So this is where the post collections come into play. And after that, which doc should I select? I should select only the previous post doc.id. So in what collection should I go next? The collection is comments. So I'm going to give only notifications such that any other user gave comment to your post, then only you'll get your notification. So I am getting all the comments for your post in a snapshot again. Let me call this snapshot 2, and inside this, the snapshot 2.docs.map, and inside this we'll be having doc2. Why is doc2 and snapshot 2? Because we have already declared snapshot and doc. That's why snapshot 2 and doc2. So inside doc2, first let me check that the comment is not given by you. So if you comment to your own post, do you want to receive a notification that you commented to your post? No, that is why I'm searching for this. And I need to satisfy another condition, which is only if the user is present or only if the login, so only if the user is logged in, do this code. Then I'm going to dispatch. This is Redux. Type add to notifications. So this is going to add the current notification to my notifications array. And what is the item? What am I going to insert to my array? I'm going to insert doc.data or the current comment. So this is clear. Now we need to import dispatch. So from where do we import? First of all, you need to import the state provider, and next you need to import both the notifications and the dispatch from use state value. This is Redux. You don't need to understand that. Just think it like this. The notifications is going to get the notifications for you whenever a new notification is added. So this is real time. So even when you are logged in, even when you are on Facebook, if somebody comments to your post, you are going to get it live. So without reloading the page. That is why I'm using Redux. So this is clear. I'm getting every user. I guess I'm finished with this use effect. Let me check it one last time. Some commas and semicolons. And this is good. So this use effect, this huge effect is done. Now as we are done with this use effect, go down, and now we can display the notifications right over here. And first off, what I wanted to check is that notifications.length is equal to 0, or if there is no notification, then what I need to do is this. So if there is no notification, then I wanted to render this code or show something like this. What if it is there? I'm going to do that in the next one. That is why I'm not doing anything right over here. And in the next JSX code, we are going to map through the notifications, and inside every notification there is a tag with the class name announcement. The code in the CSS, you can refer to that. Div class name option drop. So this is a class name, this is a div, and first of all the avatar src is equal to this, and after this div class name, and this is where the announcement info goes. First off, the h1 tag, where we'll be showing the username of who commented to your post, and then I'm going to have a span tag commented to your post. Nice, we are done with this as well. And now we have another thing left, which is this simple thing. This is very easy, we can do that. So first off, what we need to do is another div round, and on click I want to render the profile, or I just wanted to make the drop down visible with that function. So let me create the function real quick. And inside this I'm going to have this code. If the profile is down and I need to create this variable, let me create that. Const profile down and set profile down. Nice. Is equal to use state false. At present it is not down. So if the profile is down, then change it back to false or make the drop down not visible again. So this is just the code for drop down. You can understand this. Now we can go down. We need to have a drop down icon. So this is a drop down icon and it should be blue when the profile is down. And after this we are going to have a pretty straightforward drop down content. So this is very simple. I'll explain you, don't worry. So I guess I gave an extra div. Now this is good. So this is basically the drop down content where you can see all of your credentials, and these are just all of these details. So you can log out from here, and for the logout I gave one logout function. Now let me create that logout function. Even this is quite easy as well. So for logout we'll be doing if user then auth.signout. So this will sign the user out, and once the user has signed out, let's send him to the login page. Nice, the user logout function has been implemented. Did we get any errors, as we have done the whole navbar and we are completed? Photo URL of undefined, where is that? 190. So in 190 photo URL is not defined. So user, we got another error, cannot read display name of undefined. It's 69. Where is this? Display name. So for this what you need to do is user end. It's going to resolve the issue. But if we get this, let's check out. Okay, it has been 30 minutes. I have stopped the recording and I started the recording again. Actually, there were some issues with my CSS code. I fixed them. There will be the updated version in your code. So after fixing, I got a pretty good result. As you can see, my profile is there and all these tabs, and I can log out. I don't want to log out right now, but it works. You can test it out. Let me log out, no problem. As you can see, I'm logged out. And let me log in because we have some cleanups. Yes, we are logged in. This all looks good, but there is an issue. Let me tell you what. See this? Without this being closed, this is getting opened. And let me see this. All at the same time. Is this good? Do you want to open all the 3 drop downs at once? And to implement that, I have some code with me. I just tested out the CSS code. Let me close that, and I have some code with me to rectify that issue. Let me go to render notifications, and inside render notifications, we deleted a line of code, which is this. This line of code states that whenever I click on the notifications icon, the other drop down must be closed. And there is another line of code which is this, where we are going to set the profile down. So if we add these 2 lines of code, we are going to close the previous drop down. So if we do this, we are going to get this drop down. But if we go to notifications, we are going to get this, and this is closed. And we can toggle between these 2. Isn't it nice? But whenever we search for something, this doesn't get closed. That is not an issue, and I like that feature as well. So I'll not be doing anything with that. And we are done with the whole navbar. So was that pretty tough? So if that was tough or if you have any doubts, please post in the comment section and I'll be ready to help you out. So don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video. Send to as many friends as you want and also share this with your family. So I'll meet you in the next video where we are going to finish off this whole sidebar, the image upload. Let me close this. The image upload, we'll be able to post, and this contacts, that's just for replication purposes. This does not have any functionality. We are going to do this. We can post anything, we can comment. Let me comment something. Comment, we can like, we can remove the like, we can add the like, we can do anything we want, but that's reserved for the next video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.